The age of laptops, smartphones, and apps has led to increased stress for some of us. Maybe it's not enough to just unplug. Maybe it's time to think differently and practice the newest way to unwind, mindful-based stress reduction. Joining us today to show us how it's done is Executive Director of Mindful Schools, Randima Fernando. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on.
So basically what we need to talk about, first of all, is a definition of mindfulness and mindful-based stress reduction.
I'll try to explain it in a simple way. Mindfulness is essentially the idea of bringing sustained awareness to your experience. And this means whatever is happening through your senses, through your feelings, your thoughts, and cultivating awareness of that. So there's many different exercises that you can do to sort of build up that awareness. But the basic idea is to try and separate whenever something happens. It's called some stimulus, right? Whether it's a sound or something you see. We want to create some space between what happens and how we respond to that. And the more space we can create, the more time there is to do something intelligent, hopefully.
Right.
Something wise, rather than something habitual that may not be the way you actually want to respond. And so mindfulness is really a skill that you can cultivate, and by practicing more and more of that, you're able to make better decisions in these moments where things may be tricky.
So this particular type of mindfulness is such a big, almost phenomenon, that it made the cover of Time magazine recently. Can you talk about why maybe it has become such a popular notion?
Sure. Mindfulness has become, I think, very interesting now, especially in this sense of the Time magazine article, because probably in large part due to the shortening attention spans that are being trained all the time by a lot of what's around us, right? There's a lot of advertising, a lot of the devices that we use are actually training us to get used to having things happen extremely quickly. And so that makes it very hard for us to be patient. Right. And so, and it takes us very far out of our current experience. Right? We don't keep track anymore of what's actually going on, what are we eating, what are we feeling, what are we seeing, and you just get sucked into the next email or the next task that has to be done.
In fact, we're going to do something right now, which is kind of an exercise, right? About how to, sort of an illustration of mindfulness, as it were, right?
Right.
And this is an illustration of mindful-based eating, as it were, right?
Right.
Okay, so what we have here, and I don't know which camera to show this to, but it's just a plate of raisins. So we're going to take a raisin. I'm going to take one, right? And you walk me through this.
Right, so we're going to do a very simplified version since we don't have a lot of time, but we normally start by just listening to it. So give it a few crinkles.
Okay.
And you can hear that there's some sounds there. We're trying to really take in the experience of eating this raisin.
Okay.
So now we give it a smell, see what it smells like. And then we're slowly going to take note of what it feels like. Is it hot or cold? What does it feel like in terms of soft or hard? Really taking note of every aspect of the experience. And now we'll put it on your tongue. Okay. Don't eat it yet.
All right.
And you can kind of see what's going on. Your body's getting ready to start eating this raisin. And you can take a bite. And you'll notice what you're tasting, the sweetness, the sourness. Again, any temperature there, or and then getting to this point of liking or not liking, because that's really interesting, and that's where I think mindfulness is most powerful, in the sense that it gives us back some power over our response to what's going on.
And basically, that's what you're trying to at your organization.
Yes.
It's called Mindful Schools,
Yes.
and I think what people should realize is that it's sort of a training center for adults to teach mindfulness to kids, right? Can you tell us a little bit about the school?
That's right. So we provide training for educators, so mainly for educators, mental health professionals, parents, anyone who's working with kids, to learn mindfulness and then to learn how to use it with children. So there's multiple reasons for that, but the basic idea is before you teach something, you should know something about it.
Right.
So you have to learn mindfulness. But also it provides, for example, teachers with a lot of benefits for self-care because they're also very burnt out. And so if we can help them just in that aspect, even before they get to working with the kids, that's already very useful. And then after that, we like to equip them with classroom management strategies, facilitation skills, and then a curriculum that they can use with children. So that's the basic idea. And then they can use it in the classroom and adapt it based on what population of kids they work with.
Wow, that's terrific. Well, thank you so much for being here and explaining this to us, Randima.
Oh, you're welcome.
If for more information about mindful-based stress reduction, or really mindfulness, you can visit Mindful Schools in Emeryville or call them at 510-858-5350. You can also log on to their website at mindfulschools.org. Coming up, you're going to wish you had smell-o-vision when my next guest shows you his traditional take on some delicious soul food dishes. Stay with us.